Oh my God.
It'll be fine. So we have our opening words, but I also see the chalice lighting down here. We're just doing one or t'other.
Sacred unknowing is the chalice lighting. Dang, why is it down there?
That's okay.
Is it
I'll
okay?
just read it.
You read it? Okay, got it.
You want me to read both the opening words and chalice lighting, or you want to read opening
I'll
words
do
and I
opening
read
words,
chalice lighting
and
while
then you
you
do
set the fire?
chalice lighting, and I will set it ablaze. No, I won't set it.
Set it on fire. This church is on fire.
I know.
You guys are starting to scare me.
Really?
Starting?
Really?
You knew walking into a Unitarian church.
I didn't walk in though.
You rolling in.
Go to- So it's the pre-service music.
Perfect, and we are muted. Grateful. And we're muted. Wherever you are, we welcome you. Wherever you come from, we welcome you. Whoever you love, we welcome you. Whoever you love, we welcome you.
That was a rehearsal for our 11 o'clock. When we actually begin. This is when we do our pre-service music.
Oh, is that being shared?
Okay.
Are we muted?
Just give me pointers, man.
We're not doing pre-service music.
Would you like help? Wherever you are, we welcome you. Wherever you come from, we welcome you. Whoever you love, we welcome you. Whoever you love, we welcome you. Good morning and welcome to our live stream broadcast here at First Unitarian Church of Toledo. You'll notice that we actually have some beautiful flowers in the background today. That's from our flower service last week. We did have some technical issues, so we wanted to make sure y'all got to see those today. I believe that's our only announcement today. We hope y'all are well at home, and we miss you.
Good morning. My name is Melissa Jeter, and I am one of the commissioned lay ministers here at First Unitarian Church of Toledo. I have these opening words from Maureen Killeran, in need of healing. Welcome, you who come in need of healing. You who are confused and have been betrayed. Welcome with your problems and your pain. Welcome to your joys and your wonderings. Welcome your need to hope, your longing for assurance. Instead of answers, here may you find safety for your questions. Instead of promises, may you find community for your struggles. people with hands and hearts to join you in engaging the challenges and changes of our day.
Today's chalice lighting is called Sacred Unknowing by Amy Carol Webb. We light this flame for the art of sacred unknowing. Humbled by all that we cannot fathom in this time, we come into the presence of what we do know. Perhaps the only thing we can ever know, that love to everything and everyone in every moment. And now we'll have our congregation hymn sing. We're going to sing number 131. As I open to it. Love will guide us.
Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us, we lead the way on the road from peace to gain. Love will guide us through the night. If you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep within you. You can change the world with your love. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us, we'll lead the way on the road from me to giving. Love will guide us through our night.
And I'm aware we did not say our covenant.
Yes, let's do our covenant.
Shall we?
Shall we?
Please join us in saying our congregational covenant.
Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Thank you.
So today's kids' story is not a story in the way that we often have, a fairy tale from far away or a story about our own history. It's actually just a little story about me this week and what I'm doing. Because we're talking a lot about love today, and I'm learning that's a really big word. Sometimes love looks like a warm, fuzzy feeling, and sometimes love looks like a string that connects us from ourselves to another person. And sometimes love is just something we practice, like soccer or violin, or sometimes we practice our patience. For me, the past few weeks, my love looks like a postcard. I miss my friends and family a lot when I can't see them. I'm worried about them. It makes me sad. Times like that, I sit with my sadness and I listen closely, and I try to figure out, what do I need? Often that means I need connection, so I send a postcard. I send them because it makes me happy, and I send them to remind the person I love just how much they mean to me. Sometimes I put funny stories in, or glitter stickers, or for my friend Brandy, I'll put a sloth sticker. Or sometimes I just send a note that says, thinking of you. That's my whole story. I just wanted to say thanks for listening. Maybe if you have some time this week, you can look for where you see love. Or maybe you can send someone a postcard.
And now we have our anthem.
Ooh, we are just barreling along, yes.
Our anthem.
Our
Comf- Comfort me. Comfort me.
Comfort me.
Comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me.
Comfort me.
Comfort me, oh my soul. Sing with me.
Sing with me.
Sing with me, oh my soul. Sing with me.
Sing with me.
Sing with me, oh my soul. Speak for me.
Speak for me.
Speak for me, oh my soul. Comfort me.
Comfort me.
Comfort me, oh my soul. Dance with me.
Dance with me.
Dance with me, oh my soul. Dance with me.
Dance with me.
Dance with me, oh my soul. Comfort me.
Comfort me.
Comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me.
Comfort me.
Comfort me, oh my soul.
Now we'll have our meditation.
You are the inheritors. Meditation on Attention by Nancy Reed McKee. Sit and rest for a minute. Take several deep breaths in and out again, calling your attention to this space. Attention. Pay attention. Pay attention to where you are right now. I mean where you are. Where you are. And where you are. You are here in this community, in this sanctuary, in this state, in this country, on this beautiful blue planet, whirling through the tailspin of a galaxy. You are unique. You are made of cells and hormones. You are a mix of thoughts, emotions, values. You are the inheritors of your parents and ancestors dreaming. You are part of the human inhabitants on this earth. You are, you exist, you are breathing, you are still. You are connected, you are present. You have a holy spark inside you. You are here now. You are paying attention. Blessed be.
The rest is false.
You are whole or unbroken.
Who you love is acceptable or not.
My life tells its truth in many hues.
We are taught to think in either ors.
I believe the teachings of Jesus or Buddha.
I believe in human potential or a power beyond a single human will. Or whole
I am
or
broken,
unbroken.
or I am powerful.
Who you love is acceptable.
My life
Or not.
embraces multiple truths.
My
speaks of
life
both,
tells its truth
of
in
and.
many hues.
They teach us to see in absolutes.
We are taught to think in
Good
either
versus
ors.
evil.
I believe the versus teachings of female. Jesus or
old
Buddha.
versus young. I believe in human potential. My
or
vision sees
a
power
fractions,
beyond a single
spectrum,
human will.
the margins.
Or whole
I am
or unbroken.
Let us open
or
our
I am
hearts
powerful.
Who you love is
of
acceptable.
our
My
world.
life
Or not.
embraces multiple truths.
My
speaks
life
of
tells
both,
its truth
and.
in many hues.
They teach us to see in absolutes.
We are taught to think
The day
in
is
good
coming
either
versus they will
ors.
know.
I believe the teachings of Jesus or
Old versus young. I believe in human potential. My vision sees that a river of identities can ebb and flow over the static, stubborn rocks in its course.
That the margins hold the center.
Unitarian Universalism is a faith in which we covenant. We choose to make promises that bind us together in community. We are one faith community with people who draw meaning from various sacred texts, literatures of wisdom, science, and modern-day prophets. Reverend Dr. William Barber is one of those modern prophets from whom I draw wisdom. Often in his speeches, he says, I am concerned about religious leaders and politicians who say so much about what God says so little, and so little about what God says so much. I agree with the meaning of those words, even though I am religiously liberal. Pay attention now as I share with you about Unitarians and Universalists and Christianity. As part of the Protestant Reformation, Unitarians and Universalists were Christians who had questions and doubts. They rationally studied the nature of God, Jesus, and humans. Their logical equation was God was greater than Jesus, Jesus was greater than humans, but less than God. They also said what was good and enduring about God must also be in humans, because humans were from God. When they talked rationally about this theology, however, they risked their lives to the religious and political authority of that time. Are you paying attention? In our information age, I lean toward finding meaning and understanding of the what, why, and how of this society. This is an American philosophical way to obtain knowledge called pragmatism. As a Unitarian Universalist, I am free to seek information to make reasonable sense of the world and speak my truth. I suspect that some of us are trying to make sense of the deaths in our communities. We need hope and are longing for assurance as we question the nature of life in a pandemic and the systemic racism that compels some of us to find ways to affirm that Black lives do matter. Are you aware of the mix of thoughts, and emotions and values that you have are also inherited from your parents and ancestors' dreaming? Each succeeding generation carries some of the past and investigates the previous generation for moral values on which they will put their attention. My mother, of Pentecostal denomination, put her attention on Jesus. Her mother would say, "God gave you a brain, didn't he? Use it." I use my brain to reason and put my attention on love. The kind of love that is bigger than just myself. It is the kind of love that calls me to freely seek reasoned information, which shakes me to my core and compels me to seek justice and mercy in this world. As I was seeking, I came upon another wise prophet in our time, Bishop Michael Curry. Many may recall him as the minister who married the former royals, Princess Harry and Meghan. Most recently, he spoke out against President Trump's photo op, where he held up a Bible at St. John's Episcopal Church. In one of the many sermons in his book entitled The Power of Love, Bishop Curry references the story of Jesus walking on water while his followers are in a boat. Maybe some of you are aware of the story. Peter, one of the followers, gets up to walk to Jesus on the water. Peter, however, loses his attention from Jesus and begins to fall in the water. Bishop Curry uses this story to tell the reader to keep your attention on Jesus. Bishop Curry goes as the way to love. How do we, Unitarian Universalists, question and doubt this story? And how does it compel us to seek justice and mercy? Let's look at those early Unitarians and Universalists who were questioning and doubting. Pay attention. It was not without meaning that they questioned and doubted. They wanted to get very close to the essential meaning of biblical scripture, so that if Christianity went by the wayside, what was essential would endure. They questioned doctrines, creeds, and religious authorities because these changed. They looked to what scriptures were trying to convey because they did not have scientific evidence as to the reality of what happened. They wanted to find an enduring message to which they could put their attention, such that even if the stories were found to be irrational, the message conveyed would still matter. What enduring message matters to you today? In the early United States, some Unitarians and Universalists questioned laws because the laws did not reflect this essential meaning and enduring message. Some were abolitionists. They desired reform. Where there was not evidence, they used their conscience and direct experience to act compassionately. For example, in 1850 in the United States, Theodore Parker morally stood against the fugitive slave law that would allow slave catchers to coerce blacks to the South, where they would be enslaved. Parker preached the immorality of this law with a firearm in his desk and black people in his church pew. I say this knowing that every Unitarian Universalist is not perfect. Who is? Most Unitarian Universalists are white, and yet there are and have been a diversity of persons who embrace this faith. In fact, Lewis Latimer helped found the Flushing Unitarian congregation. We all struggle together. What Unitarian Universalists do is seek meaning to discover a morality that inspires compassionate action. I would offer that this is what many of us are doing now, trying to figure out what the best thing is to do. It is a challenging thing to do in the midst of anger and grief. With so much information, it is challenging to know what to pay attention to or what way to pay attention. The writings of Karen Armstrong changed how I pay attention. In the book, The Case for God, Armstrong says that the purpose of sacred stories for the ancient followers of Jesus was contemplation, a contemplation that caused the listeners to act compassionately. The sacred stories were called mythos. Mythos was an ancient way to discover a truth about life. Early followers of the way of Jesus would meditate to experience an ecstasis. The proof of the truth of a mythos was found in compassionate acts. These days, we might call that ecstasis an aha moment that inspires you to change your behavior. Some people have had these moments of aha, realizing we are one part of the earth and yet all interconnected. It is a truth that we experience in this pandemic, especially as science also finds it true. Early followers of the Jesus movement discovered moral truth differently. Generations and generations and generations later, people used logos. Logos is connected to the Enlightenment period in the 17th through 19th centuries. Logos is a rational way to examine the world through categorizing, counting, and classifying information. Logos is useful and different from mythos. A younger generation, looking at religion, criticized mythos based on logos. In this generation, enlightened seekers use logos to organize human beings into 5 groups and later a hierarchy of human beings. Logos as a scientific orientation to understand human beings took a long time to present evidence that a natural hierarchy of humans was false. In the midst of the useful sciences that logos created, we struggle with this legacy and valuing the inherent worth and dignity of every person. Still, we continue to strive for beloved community. We inherit both mythos and logos, 2 different ways to seek healing and find meaning in a faith community. I am confident that Unitarian Universalism has room for many ways to find healing and meaning. Right now, I pay attention to both mythos and logos. Looking at the past, I understand that information I have may change. There are younger generations who are making their lives a sanctuary and nurturing all their many identities. They refuse to be suffocated or have the power within them undermined. Now is the time to open your hearts to the complexity of our communities. Let us be intentional about the promises we make to each other. Let us seek reasoned information. Let us listen to the voices of direct experience. Let us be open and have humility, because our knowledge is limited. Pay attention to processes and systems. Let us act compassionately so we can be the love that is holding all of us dear in this world. Pay attention. Amen. Blessed me. Ashe.
Amen. Thank you. We've come to the part of our service for our offertory. Now, because we're online and we don't have our usual passing of the plate, we're going to start doing things a little differently over the summer. We won't have music in this time, but instead we'd love to invite you to be our members and have our membership moments start back up. So we'll be sending out an email and you can write on in. A Zoom call takes about 2 minutes, however, if you want it to be a membership moment, and we can include you in the service to speak to why you choose First Unitarian Church of Toledo, why this is a home community for us, and why we give. If you're interested in giving today, please visit us at uutoledo.org, and we'd love your pledges. I believe that takes us all the way.
Closing words.
Yeah.
I have these closing words. Let our lives be a prayer, by Joel Miller. Let our lives be a prayer that waters dry souls, mends broken hearts, refuses to be terrorized, seeks this world's beauty, and carries us through its storms.
We invite you to join us for coffee hour after the service and to visit us again next week at 11. Thank you so much for being here. And we do have a postlude.